Here we are, back again with Minecraft 1.21 on the Fabric Loader, modded with Spectrum, Hephaestus, Ender Tanks, and at this point, who knows what else. Some parts of it I've genuinely forgotten, some parts of it I'm simply hiding, and I've forgotten the line between which is which. Ooh, that's not a good noise. It seems one of the arms of my computer chair has just decided to give up the ghost. Anyway, we have these 3 barrels sealed up 61 Minecraft days ago, 0.8 real life days. I told you they still ran while offline. Open all of them up. And we'll take our dozen spider eyes straight up. Now we only need 4 of these. And it's the middle of the night. So let's have a quick nap. Still enjoying the bug where we can't go to bed with anything unless we have something in our hands. Still don't know what's going on with that. I'd expect to be able to sleep barehanded, or at least interact with the bed barehanded, since I've been able to for several real-life days since installing it. But all of a sudden, unless I have something in my hand, the bed don't work. Anyway, we get these, and what are the rest? Over here. 2 prismarine crystals, stratine fragments. And why is there all this other stuff here that's been unlocked? Stargazing. At night, telescope the sky. Simple enough. Wispy circlet made with brown. You recover, prevents spawning of phantoms, reduces the duration of negative effects, and sleeping fully heals you. That's a good general purpose crown slot item. Still not the crown slot item I'm looking for, though. I don't know why the one I want is taking so long to show up. Nature's Staff. This is good and is actually necessary for progression, believe it or not. So let's get 2 brown, a lime, a moss block, and a stick, and make ready to create that one. There's the moss blocks. Throw the lever on the one we have in there. This will make Bottle of Failing. Different from the Fading that we have over there eating tree leaves. Failing is a bit stronger and has a different diet. One of the sturdiest materials you know. That's another thing where there's a hint in here. And it's honestly not a very good hint. I've unlocked it in past playthroughs. the nature staff. We get our bottle of failing. And I'm actually going to need an honest diamond pickaxe, I think. We'll test first. What is that parrot doing? He's just boogieing down in the water. Oh, no, he's got performance anxiety because we had to look. And maybe I do want upgrades on this, because this is taking a while. There we go. Nature Staff uses vegetal to grow all sorts of plants and lures in nearby animals. Does it just do that passively? I'm not seeing much in the way of lure going on here. Yeah, they don't seem to care. Maybe I have to be using vegetal. Anyway. Nature Staff kind of goes in the back pocket here. This is the real star. I'm going to want some additional bottles for containment reasons. Okay, this stuff can get dangerous. And that's what it eats. It has an obsidian-based diet. So let me just arrange an obsidian farm where the important thing is that it can't contact the ground. So I'll just put that like that. The bottle of failing can go in the center. And we'll build more obsidian around it. Just really box this thing in. And that's gotta go. And we already have a winner. Let's bottle that one as an extra. I see we have another winner on the back side. And there we go. Neolith. Failing consumes obsidian to produce a neolith crystal. Which does, well, we'll consult the book. Because, frankly, I don't immediately remember. I just know it's a pain, because it's 1 neolith per obsidian. And it takes almost as long to mine as obsidian, and it's a pain in the neck to get access to this much obsidian anyway. We'll just leave the failing to corrupt the rest of it. Oh. And look what else has decided to show up. That's why I placed these, actually. The whole reason I put these lightning rods down is that so lightning strikes would eventually attract storm crystals when the book was ready to show it to us. So now we have 2 new resources. And I need to scoop more lava, craft more obsidian, and feed it to the neolith out there. Or feed it to this stuff. So we got storm stones and neolith. So let's see what these do. That's a lot of unlocks. I can make a takeoff belt, which I can sneak to charge a high jump. It doesn't say anything about it also getting fall damage resistance, which is kind of concerning. But it also requires a rabbit's foot, which we don't have, so I don't care. We can now have a block detector, which is like an observer, but only triggers for specific blocks. Storm stones, dug into the ground by lightning strikes. Used in the fusion shrine, you can use them to summon thunderstorms, and they don't react too nicely to explosions. I've never seen what this does. The Crystal Apothecary automatically harvests fully grown gemstone clusters, and allegedly also functions as a chunk loader. This is a very good item for harvesting faraway geodes, because of its chunk loader function. The problem is that it's not as good as a normal pickaxe, let alone a fortune pickaxe. I can make an ender splice, which, if I had chorus fruit, it can be used as a bookmark, and it can teleport me back to that bookmark, but not across dimensions. So this is no good until we get to the end. Now, we have a theoretical construction of the perfect compound. All 4 of our current gems, neolith, and a bucket of liquid crystal makes the perfect compound. It also warns to make sure your shrine and the blocks around it are fortified, which is, let's face it, a threat. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make 5 of these. I'm kind of spoiling the game a bit, because I already know what's going to happen. This is not my first run through with Spectrum. Kind of rather it be in the morning. And, gonna need a bucket. Actually, you know what? I would rather have an ender tank than just a bucket. That's an ender chest. I am a fool. So I no longer have the obsidian necessary. Maybe we can collect some of the obsidian up here before it turns. Well, this confirms that it takes longer to mine regular obsidian than it does the Neolith conversion. And while we're here, does the Ender bucket require obsidian? No. I know I'm being all weird and cryptic again, because I know more than I'm letting on. Trust me, this is all very important. Bucket pearl, a color wool. Definitely black wool. Black ender tank. And a black ender bucket. The wool, black dye. Surprise, surprise, I had more obsidian this whole time. And the blaze rods need to be angle smashed. So that doubles their output. Which means I only did one. Oh well, we'll have spare blaze rod in our pocket now, or blaze dust in our pocket now. Alright, nearly noon. Let's make this perfect compound quote. 5 of every crystal we have. Liquid crystal bucket. All seems well. Now the explosions begin. And lightning all over the place. Lightning that, notably, is ignoring... Oh yeah, and then this happens. Which is why I dug these specific channels so fluid would dip into them and not flow wherever the hell it wanted. Welcome to Midnight Solution. A bizarre and dangerous liquid created by us going mad and trying to break colors. And we created these midnight aberrations. And they break. Which is why I try to put them into a bag as soon as possible, because the bag doesn't count as your inventory. So they tend not to break down quite so quickly. Midnight Aberration can have a couple of uses, but by and large it's just a waste product of this failure, and it decays into garbage. The Midnight Solution, on the other hand, actually has some uses. So we scurry back into our little hole. We have 7 buckets of Midnight Solution available. Let's see what we've learned. We've learned that the perfect compound is actually Midnight Aberration. It's this horrible bit of nonsense. And there's also the aggressive blackish fluid that just kind of happened. What a mess. Midnight Solution itself, however, has some dipping recipes. You can throw things into the fluid and get other things out of it. It can also disenchant by throwing things in there. I mean, so can a grindstone, so what's the point? But something about this liquid is our necessary for progression the secret. Or else it wouldn't have this yellow question mark on it. We also have a new ore, paid for with Neolith, and 2 new resources, one paid in Sherristone, one paid in Neolith. Okay. Well, I'm certainly not planning on... Oh, hang on. One of the wandering parrots walked into the sweetberry bushes and died. Oopsie. Oh well. Free feather. Well, I certainly don't plan on spending Neolith on a hint. Because, as mentioned, Neolith is kind of a pain to collect and corrupt and harvest, and everything about it is just aggravating. Also, let me just check my achievements here. Where's the one for Neolith? This is the Midnight Aberration. Something. Okay. So it is recognized. A problem that I've had previously is that using Tinker/Hephaestus tools to mine, say, Neolith, Spectrum wouldn't recognize. I had to genuinely use an actual diamond pickaxe, or I wouldn't get the achievement and therefore not the progression for discovering and collecting these resources. So even though I have this powerful Hephaestus custom pickaxe with Fortune 3 effectively on it, I had to make a vanilla diamond pickaxe and enchant that with Fortune 3 as well. Or else Spectrum just wouldn't recognize that I had in fact collected the resource that was sitting in my inventory. Just a case of... Hang on. This grass needs to go. So the aggressive bacteria crap doesn't use the grass as a path to the ground, because this stuff doesn't just eat obsidian. It only turns obsidian into Neolith. If it gains access to any other blocks, it'll consume those too, and turn them into more gray blocks of failing. as I was saying, as part of the aggressive making sure you can't sequence break of Spectrum, it didn't recognize that I had actually mined the resource that I had on me at the time, because I didn't use the correct pickaxe to do it. Anyway, the secrets of the Midnight solution are, first of all, I think it's time for another nap. Second of all, I'm going to have to build something. Probably out of all this calcite, which is going to be jarring. It's going to be very jarring due to the color contrast. So here's what I'm going to have to do. I need to find basically a place to put a small mob farm. Which isn't even remotely what I want to do right now. But it needs to be done for progression. So here's what we're going to do. Right about here, I think. Oh, it's going to have to be elevated, isn't it? And then this, I suppose, or maybe that. This would best be done with another hopper, but I just don't want to do that. I think I can get the chest to open if I put a block above it that's considered transparent. So maybe if I polished calcite stairs. Because it has to be solid for the purposes of fluid containment and mob containment. But it also has to be transparent, there, for the purpose of chest opening. Okay, this is perfect. I'll just put these blocks under here for aesthetic reasons and because I hate calcite. So I will happily waste as much of it as possible. What I need here is an area that is roughly square, decently large, and I don't remember how long, which is a problem. I guess we're gonna risk it. I have enough. Midnight Solution, how far do you flow? Slightly too far. This is now bad. This right here is why I made containment channels. Because Midnight Solution on contact with dirt creates black materia, which is a useless and awful material that I am now going to have to clean up and replace with actual dirt. So I'm glad I have this entire bag of dirt. Hopefully this black materia crap hasn't run too deep. It's also infectious. So the faster I get rid of it all, the less it can spread. It's a physics-enabled block, so it can fall. And yeah, it just corrupts and spreads and takes over dirt, and it's a huge, painful pain in the neck. I hope I got all of it on this side, because there's more yet. Oh yeah, this stuff is going wild. Stop it. Stop it, you will not be black gooing my entire front lawn. Apart from its infectious toxicity, it's wholly useless. I hope that's all of it. Nope, missed a spot. Is that all of it? I don't hear it spreading anymore. It sounds like dirt being placed. And I don't see any more of it. So now let's take our medicine and fill these holes. Even worse than a creeper scar. If left untreated, this could and would corrupt all dirt that it comes in contact with. So pretty much the entire surface of my, this side of the river. And theoretically it could have spread underneath the river to any continuous dirt and gotten across to the other side. As far as I know, there's not a limit to how much black materia can spread, except for the fact that it can only spread through soft materials like earth and gravel, like dirt and gravel. It won't spread through stone. I'm sure this kind of thing is exactly what block flooders are for. The spectrum utility that I've never made and never used, and therefore don't understand or trust, which is why I'm not doing it. This is also the kind of task that the Builder's Wand substitute was made for. I have less excuse as to why I'm not using that. That would honestly probably be the perfect thing. But here we are, being the opposite of a dwarf and filling in a hole. Honestly, I'm just glad to get some use out of my massive surplus of dirt. It also served as a very nice illustration for why I was so strangely cautious in building the fusion shrine and placing those weird andesite holes around it. And the hint I dropped about it being related to how fluids travel. So there we go. So that flowed out at least 7 spaces. So I'm going to make this final space a wall. Now we take our midnight solution, throw it in this deadly porcelain, this now very deadly porcelain bowl. I maybe should do this one more rank out so I can have a nice odd number. There. I think. Yeah, it's still diagonal. Three. This is in the middle of the side. This is in the middle of the side-ish. Now I have a terrifying sounding, bubbling black flow. It all leads to this corner. Oh, and some crazy sparkles. Because a meteorite has fallen right in my front yard. back to what was it all for? That will involve stairs. Which I am not so wasteful as to use calcite on stairs. The secret of Midnight Solution is maybe threefold. There are, of course, the dipping recipes. And there are also, I guess you could still call them dipping recipes, that involve mobs. You see, Midnight Solution is a toxic and dangerous substance that deals continuous contact damage, not unlike a form of liquid poison. And if I could just attract a volunteer, we'll try to lure him into the swamp bath of darkness. The spider's probably the worst candidate because he can climb walls. Just stay down there and melt like you're supposed to. That kills the spider. And the current should be pushing that into the hopper. But it seems to be refusing to do so. Oh well. That's part of what the magnetic effect on my pickaxe is for. Let's go find some skeletons as well, as annoying as that will be. Come on, boys. Step right up. Come play in my kiddie pool of garbage. Right this way. You can't shoot me from that far away. Hop on in. Perfect. Now you're dead. The other one has neglected to follow. Come on. I need everybody to get in the pool. Come on, in the pool. There he goes. And the whole reason for the current and the wall is to shove them into this corner where they then can't climb out. It's not working quite as well as I'd like, but it's working. And that's the important thing. It kills them and I get midnight chips. Mobs killed by Midnight Solution drop items, supposedly, as though they were killed by a player. Which is good, because it means rare drops like Blaze Rods and Wither Skulls and the like are possible. Kind of awkward to use it for that, but I suppose you could. Midnight chips also produce universe spy holes, which are weird, but honestly quite useful. So let me get the 4 black. And I need one more midnight chip. One chip short. And I'm also going to need a block of radiating ender. And that shooting star we can hang on to for later. Oh. And it's dawn. So we won't be charming any more monsters into the midnight hole just yet. I mean, I could. I really, really could. 4 slime balls worth of blood onto a saddle makes a piggy backpack. I can get 2 worth of blood by melting a skull. I could melt coag blood. Do I even have any of that? I do. Alright, let's use this saddle surplus. We're making piggy backpacks, and I'm gonna dump living mobs into the midnight nonsense. I left clicked instead of right. Bit of a mistake there. But that's fine, all I have to do is replant. And remember that this row was actually potato. How? I must have accidentally carved that with the scythe? It does have the silky shears property, and I got pumpkin seeds out of it. So I guess so. I guess I accidentally carved that pumpkin into a jack-o'-lantern. Whoops. Let's multiply the cows. Go over here and multiply our chickens. Grab this egg. And we're going to piggyback back some things. Like this useless horse. It's not going to let us pick up the horse. What if I split these? No. Piggy backpack is not usable on the horse. What a waste. How about pigs? I made 2 of these. Oh, there we go. Piggy backpack. Now I can't see because there are pig legs in my face. Let's also take this gray sheep. 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 It said these could be stacked. Oh, they can. I now have an animal stack. And I'm not sure how to take them off again. And my chest plate has stopped being gold and was in fact completely reset. It doesn't have the diamond on it either. Chicken. Chicken, I'm going to try to get you too. Nope, sheep's in the way. I can't put the piggy backpack on my chest slot anymore. I just picked up the chicken too, I think. Yeah, it's up there. But now the piggy backpacks are broken, and so is my chest plate. And I don't think I can put these creatures down anymore. Get off me. That is now a stacked chicken pig. Because that makes sense. I think I can actually work with that. If I grab a carrot, I should be able to charm the pig into the black garbage. There it goes. This has sadly come at great personal cost. They're on breeding cooldown. Okay. Because the upgrade properties I put on my armor were broken by a bug, I'm getting the diamond and gold back. This is, in fact, the entire reason why I allow cheats. Because playing with mods can be very unpredictable. I would be even more upset if I'd put, like, a head, a disc, and a written book on it. And I actually don't remember if I'd done so. Either way, what a pain for these piggy backpacks to have destroyed my armor upgrades. And had, I had to replace them like that. Especially since the piggy backpack and the armor ruined were from the same mod. Well, I can't trust those anymore. Now, about these universe spy holes. Normally I don't have to make these, should have honestly found some by now. While this processes, I would really like to consider upgrades. Where were those? Magical blocks? Structure upgrades. Here's my universe spy holes. And here's what they do. Place them, and their transparency is such that they function as X-ray hacks. So I can use these blocks to peek through one layer of solid stone. And then your vision just continues until it's obstructed by another hole, and the walls behind that other hole. So we can see here my drop tubes, my nether portal, the ravine, the original hole, whatever that is. And we'll use these to find something else, but at the moment, I actually need to step away for a minute. So, I will be back shortly. And we're back. Some things refuse to wait. I know, I say that every time. You get used to it. Or you have a psychotic episode. I also need some mud. I think the only way I can get mud is from a mangrove biome. Because we need liquid mud to move forward. That's a long way away. Is there another way to make mud? Created by using a water bottle on a dirt block. Well, that would certainly make things easier. Forget that. That's what I want to see. I knew it could be done, I just had to look up how. This is very tedious. That was better. Now I can make liquid mud with dirt and mud and a mermaid's gem and a bucket. Which I'll need probably one of, to be fair. But it's good to have backups. Bucket ready, mud, liquid mud, mud, dirt, bleh, mermaid's gem, bottle enchanting, stuff, things. There we go. Bucket of mud. So we can use a bucket of mud and a bucket of liquid crystal to make a permanent clay factory. Why would that be useful? Don't ask me. It's just a thing we can do. What I want the mud for is to throw all this rotten flesh into it. Because that creates rabbit hide. now I can use all this rabbit hide. And 3, 6, just a bunch of this key toxic powder to make more of these bottomless bags. I'm gonna want one for cobble. Slow down a second. I got one for dirt, one for deep slate, one for later on. And I guess that'll do it for now. I also really have to get these structure upgrades going. Anyway, bottomless bundles, and also these abominations, or at least the remaining ones. One of them, oh geez, they're cracking fast. 2 survived, the rest became gunpowder. A whole 2 of them survived. Bit of an issue with that, but not really. Okay. This staff can actually stay here for now. I've got my cobblestone bag, my dirt bag, and this is going to be a deep slate bag. Perfect. Cobbled deep slate bag. And this bag, I'm not going to tell you what that one's for. Although, come to think of it, I need another rack bag. For when I'm ripping around the nether. And while that processes, I just remembered that we were going to give thought to structure upgrades. There's the crafting accelerator, the knowledge focus, which is more XP. And again, there's another one that I want, but we don't have the recipe for. Still, a couple of these crafting accelerators would not go amiss. As purple, blue, yellow. And then calcite above basalt. Got my netherrack bag. 2 crafting accelerators coming up. We'll worry about those. I should probably stick around, actually. Also low on key toxic. So I'll just cut these. These have literally no function beyond being crushed. So I'll just take them over to the smashing tube. And down you go. Maybe have some friends while you're at it. Now that little pop-up in the top right, I actually noticed in red because it's only 1. You now have access to crafting accelerator T2. More onyx, more powders, and a storm stone. Considering how relatively inexpensive that is. Oh, well, this one's still crafting. And we have onyx problems. So I'll just keep those on hand. And those can be installed for now. But we're gonna need more onyx. Which I don't like. Anyway, new ore, new resource. The other new resource was the Neolith. Or maybe it was Midnight Chip. I don't know. Either way. Netherrack bag, mystery bag, universe spy holes. Let's get down into the mines and go looking for fun things. Which I am honestly not currently prepared for. Should have brought more torches. It sure shows a lot. Oh, there's a dungeon. Right over there. How long has that been there? I've never gone over there. It is a zombie dungeon. Look at it. Okay, well, let's go say hello to our little friends. I am not passing up iron on the way. This is like a double-sized iron deposit. In the meantime, zombies are spawning, and I don't care. The more to kill, the merrier. Hello? Hello, fellas? Death? Oh, look at them all up here. care how many of you there are. You are no match for my blade. Take this gold, too. All for rotten flesh, redstone dust, gunpowder, and another equestrian kit. What a waste of time and effort. There's our geode. Actually, that's not even our geode. That's a different geode. A smaller geode. This whole X-raying gig is pretty cool. I am not seeing what I'm looking for. That's another geode with torches in it, so that one is our geode. What I'm looking for is a kind of dungeon structure made of something called preservation brick. They are small puzzle dungeons that spawn at a certain layer of the overworld. Flesh, potato, bread, seeds, gunpowder, andesite. And the saddle and horse armor. And the last of our torches. And the stick supply and some charcoal to make more torches, which I don't have the charcoal. I think we are taking a nap and charcoalinating. If we knock down some of these big jungle trees, I'll get all the charcoal I could possibly want. Hello, Creeper. Didn't clog our inventory at all, it just went straight into the bags. Tree go poof. It's charcoal now. What the? Is there seriously a citrine geode right here? Yeah. There has been a citrine geode right under my nose in the forest next door, close enough that it can load the whole time. That's practically insulting. But anyway, we have charcoalinated. Also, murdering that chicken with the charcoalinator and its auto smelt feature immediately cooked the chicken. That's kind of funny. I'm gonna have to get fence rails on these. Someday. Someday when I care. Right now it's gonna be back into the mines. Because I need to find these new resources. And honestly, it doesn't matter if I find preservation stone yet. I won't be able to get in. We are still gated behind, I think, two things. One of which is an unknown new ore. It's very dramatic when this stuff shows up. It's blue. I don't see anything down here. Oh, there it is. Deep slate azurite. Azurite is very important and also a colossal pain in the ass. And I say that without reservation. Oh look, I can scoop more lava and expose and make this azurite more safe to claim in the process. Also more diamonds. I should scoop lava more often. It makes available treasures that I just could not loot before. Alright, lava tank is full. That's more obsidian later. Right now, we have more azurite. A decent deposit of it too. This stuff normally comes only in ones. So 4 blocks of it is nice. And we're fortuning these diamonds. And we're using some of my bottomless dirt to fill those in so we don't fall in. Aha! More azurite. And more azurite. I sure am glad these caves expose a whole bunch of it. But wait, there's more. So why do I say this stuff is a pain? Well, raw azurite isn't really usable unless you want to set up a pastel network. And frankly, I don't understand what they are or how they work. It's necessary for the bottle of ruin, which involves dragon's breath. This is where the Spectrum mod really kicks off. But unfortunately, it's post end. So I now need to find the Ender Stronghold and fight the Ender Dragon. Other than that, raw azurite can be fused with neolith and diamond to make refined azurite. It's also a reagent for lingering potions and tipped arrows, and does something with the crystallarium which doesn't exist yet. Don't worry about it. So 4 azurite plus diamond and neolith to make refined azurite, which does several things nobody knows about. It makes the azurite ring and belt. These are crucial. I need to assemble blue pigment and make these immediately. The dike ring is 4 units of azure dike and makes it charge faster. The belt is 6 units of azure dike and increases its recovery rate after getting hit. Anyone who is familiar with Thaumcraft and may remember runic shielding? Same thing. Azure Dike is an additional health bar that sits on top of your normal health bar and intercepts attacks first. Like runic shielding, I don't believe Azure Dike takes your armor into consideration, so you need as much of it as possible for it to make the slightest bit of difference. But to be fair, any amount of damage that you take that doesn't go to your actual health and doesn't put your actual life in danger and doesn't consume your actual food bar to regenerate, that can only be a good thing. I'm just really glad that so much of this azurite down here is easily visible and accessible, because I am accustomed to hunting forever for this crap and barely finding any. I guess this is our consolation prize for not having found, for not having found any of the spectrum puzzle structures yet. Speaking of which, any luck on that front? I mean, obviously not there. This is our captured zombie area, which we suddenly no longer care about. There is nothing in that direction. Nothing lower down. Not really surprised. We are kind of close to bedrock level. And above, I'm not seeing much. I'll be honest. While these blocks are the intended way to search for the puzzle chambers, this is not how I usually search for the puzzle chambers. The important thing is that we have a bunch of azurite right now, so I can go make some azure dike equipment, get that extra health bar, because that will be required. Ooh, more of it. Thank you, WorldJet, for giving me this very convenient but also stupid lava-filled cave full of azurite. The way I usually search for these puzzle structures is to use the underground map. Add some earth slime crystal. They're usually pretty obvious because they are a distinctive color and shape. And there are none here. They are most common right about at the boundary between stone and deep slate. There. This is one. If you can read the text at the bottom screen, I know it's very small, it says Preservation Stone. And just based on the shape and these strange pink crystal blocks, I know that this is a dike ruin. I'm just going to call that a ruin. Oh, this is another one. Which is also a dike ruin. I don't remember if ruin is the right word. And this is another one. Now we're seeing them everywhere. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if ruin is the correct word, but I know it requires Azure Dike to get in. Funny how I got to the right altitude and just saw 3 of them immediately. There are also 2 other types, which are less easy for me to recognize. Normally I have a map where I have a giant horizontal cavern that I can just kind of wander around, and I have to spend tons of torches to make safe. And these preservation stone structures are just exposed all over the place. But the way you're supposed to search for them is with the universe spirals. As pain in the neck as that is. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get a dozen raw azurite. Honestly, I probably should do more, but I'm not gonna. 3 diamonds, 3 neolith, and the recipe said a bucket of water. It's also, of course, dark again. So here we go. Fusion Shrine. The thing about the Fusion Shrine is that while each recipe requires a bucket of fluid to activate, the ingredients, other than the fluid, you can freely multiply. This is especially useful for recipes that involve expensive fluids, like liquid crystal or midnight solution. Brain is kind of blanking on the exact name of the stuff. But I've just tripled up on the recipe for refined azurite. There's the bucket of water, and it will just make the stuff. Parrot, what do you want? Pow. Refined azurite. So I need to use this stuff to make some refined azurite azure deck equipment. And on top of that, I also kind of need to make, not the pastel network. I gather it's kind of it's an inventory management system where you can connect chests and have a request system, and I just don't know how it works, and I'm not interested. I have my own filing system. Oh, here we go. Azurite blue pigment. It creates shielding. Requires liquid crystal. I am going to need 2 buckets of liquid crystal. As well as a tough ring. Simple enough. And a fanciful belt, 4 leather and a gold. I'm sure it's very amusing that I said I have a filing system so I know where everything is, and I always open the wrong chest first. Oh. And I need a second ring. Which means I actually need 3 buckets of liquid crystal. No, 2 buckets, because of the multiplier thing that I just finished explaining. I can double up on the ring ingredients and get 2 with a single bucket. Okay, so we're cooking here. I have to make buckets of liquid crystal, which this is not the recipe I want. I want the Potion Workshop recipe version. Pink, yellow, shimmerstone. 2 pink, 2 yellow, 2 shimmerstone. This will make 1 bucket, and then when I'm done with it, I'll bring the bucket back. We'll do the belt first. Anyway, azurite. You refine. It's not cheap. It's deep underground. It intensifies pigments. Blah, 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 blah. We get it. We have some. So 16 and 16 and 16 blue. What do I have for blue? Not enough. Good news, we have blue saplings. Don't you just love fractal tasks? The kind of things where you've got to do it. You know you've got to do it. But in order to do the first thing, you have to also do the second thing. In order to do the second thing, you have to do the third thing, and it just goes back and back and back, and it's recursive. Since I needed the blue immediately, I probably should have brought bone meal. Or that vegetal wand. That would work too. Anyway, I'm going to have surplus lime. I kind of have to plant the magenta and lime, but that gets them out of here. Surplus magenta. Having a problem with my pigments where they are overflowing everything. Anyway, bone meal. And in addition to all of this, I also need to make at least one ink flask. Not gonna get anywhere without it. The assortment would be nice too, but it doesn't have, I mean, you'd think 6.4K ink would be a good amount, but it's not. Any application that requires ink requires metric effing tons of ink, and the assortment just doesn't stand up to the need. 409.6, that's better. It's honestly kind of hard to fill. So I'll make 4 of these. And that was ink, and pigment, and shimmerstone, and glass, and I got those backwards as I always do. I'm not paying attention. We'll quick craft that. That'll probably give us some unlock some new recipes that I don't care about right now. Okay, maybe it won't until we go get them. Magenta and lime, and this blue needs to get going. Blue is one of those colors that the mod needs in silly amounts. See also light blue. So it's a very good thing that I'm randomly getting some good sapling return on this, because we are about to use a lot of blue pigment. Unlike black, due to the need, I'm kind of happy to just hang out here and farm blue pigment as long as it'll keep giving me saplings. Black isn't nearly as big of a need, and I honestly have too much of it right now. But the blue, come on, man, keep it coming. Another sapling. I'm also really glad for this. You know what? We'll just plant that one and go. I don't want to hang out here all night. But I am really glad that this Queen Slime scythe is working out. My last playthrough I used daggers, because dagger is just the tool that I found works. And it was not the best tool. So I've got blue dye, or blue pigment. I have tons of blue pigment. The blue pigment we need is azure. Yeah, 16 for the belt, 16 per ring. And one here and two here. Ring, azurite pigment, belt azurite pigment, and one liquid crystal bucket per. We're good. Let's have our nap and make it so. Belt and azurite and pigment and bucket. We'll just let that run and I will be right back to get the other bucket. I'll even take one of these and put her there. Double ring, twice the pigment, double azurite, bucket. And that should make me 2 rings. Maybe 1 ring, and rejected the rest. Why must you disappoint me so? Now I have to make another liquid crystal bucket. Which was what? Pink and yellow? Yes. I also have to wonder why my azurite shielding is not actually showing up. I'm supposed to have a 3rd health bar made of little blue shields. Oh, need that bucket. Let's go make our other azurite ring. Also important, this saves on armor durability. because damage that goes to the Azure Dike isn't counted as damage to your character at all. Now, I don't understand why it just now unlocked Pigment Palette when I put on the second ring. But here's where we are right now. Decay Away destroys Fading, Failing, and Ruin, which we are not at yet. Ruin requires Dragon's Breath, that'll come later. Spirit Instiller, made with refined azurite, and it's built on another big structure. This station is powerful. I can't remember if it's actually required or not, but I do know it's irritating and I don't like it. Progression hints, another new resource paid for in Shimmerstone. I don't actually remember what that is. Then we have Ink Magic, the Pigment Palette, made with refined azurite. The Pigment Palette is, well, it's an entire ink jar for every color, with the caveat that it can't be used to power blocks. Funnily enough, the reason that's a problem has not yet presented itself. Where did I end up putting... I know I made one. Where did I put the color picker? Or did I end up deciding it was too much trouble and I couldn't think of where it needed to go? Because I know we made a color picker. Where is it? Also, why aren't all these cobblestone? Something didn't save correctly. Because we moved these yesterday. And I found room. I blocked this up and put the color picker here next to the chest. It was right here. Give me my color picker back. We're going to make this specifically a flask of orange. And we have plenty of orange to stick in it. Now we're starting to unlock things. Now that I've proven I can make use of liquid ink, we have the Heart Singer's Reward. With the power of pink ink, will improve my max hearts. Gloves of Dawn's Grasp. with fanciful gloves, light blue and green, and then infused with additional light blue, it will increase my block reach. There's also in Azure Dyke now a Shield Grasp amulet that uses blue ink to increase the amount of Azure Dyke from 0. With however much blue ink I want to farm, it will get stronger. What's being very weird to me is that there's supposed to be another magical block that I'm frankly shocked hasn't shown up yet. The answer must be in the achievements somewhere. Must be something I'm missing. Oblivion pickaxe. Maybe these? No, it couldn't be that. I don't think they go into it. Is it in this chapter? Alchemy, upgrades, semi-permeable glass, boots, enchanting, potion pendant, the spirit instiller, pastel network, crystal apothecary. It's not here. And the reason I think it's not here, or at least what I think the reason is because Stratine has a second form that's less common. And I think that's what I'm missing. There's supposed to be Stratine gems, not fragments. There's an entire large gem that's just not showing up. Well, how do we make these gloves? Because this will help us out. And honestly, so will the pigment palette. So fanciful gloves, 2 tough, and 3 leather. And then 8 neolith, 16 light blue, and 8 green. $16 light blue. And 8 green. And of course another bucket of liquid crystal. Need 2 more of those, I think. If only there were an easier way to duplicate this stuff. I'm just going to stick all the rest of the light blue in here. We'll draw that out later. 8 green, 16 light blue, 8 neolith. This glove. And a bucket of liquid crystal. Take this. We don't put it on yet because it's currently powerless. Oh. Hello to random shooting star that almost landed on my horse. I'll just hang on to that. We got 2 of them now. Put this in here to soak up all the light blue it can, which is only going to be half of what we put in there. That's +1 block reach. Now we put it on. Now I can allegedly reach 1 block farther than before. I guess I can, because that's no longer highlighted. It doesn't seem like much, but if we get more and more light blue ink, that'll add up. I need a pigment palette, which means we need more refined azurite. 4 neolith diamond. You know what? Let's just make a few more, because, as I'm fond of saying, only 2 quantities of anything matter. Not enough, and I don't want to think about it again. This is neither, but it's too stupidly expensive to try and go for the lesser numbers, to try and go for the greater quantity. Alright then. Pigment palette. 4 planks, 16 of what looks like any pigment, and a refined azurite. Wait. Okay, I saw cherry planks in there, so that's not specifically colored planks. But you know what? I don't mind if it is. And I'm going to use 16 of magenta, because I'm levering knowledge, and I'm leveraging knowledge of the future of colors that may or may not be critical later. We're going to take the spare lime and hide most of the yellow. And that can all go in here. That's also a surprise tool that would help us later. Yellow is a color that it is not possible to have enough of. You're kind of going to have to trust me on that one. Mostly because the reason I need yellow, much like the reason I need that jar of orange, has not decided to show itself yet, and I'm very puzzled as to why not. There's our pigment palette. It needs to contain yellow. It also needs to contain lime. I think lime. I may be thinking of brown. I should check the book. So in magical items, the nature staff can use bone meal. Does he see vegetal or lime ink? That's why he did the lime. And the yellow is the radiant staff, yellow ink, or shimmerstone gems. This is why it's not possible to have enough yellow ink. So let me get a shimmerstone, 2 blue, and 2 sticks. Now we will make this right now. I did not mean to do that. But that's honestly fine, I suppose. Equip a pigment palette. Use a high amount of ink with a single action. I kind of haven't done that. But, you know, whatever you think I have or haven't done. Shimmerstone, blue, sticks. Make it so. There's also a monster over here somewhere. Hello, zombie child. How many swings does it take for him to stop dodging? Got his head anyway. And there we go. Radiance Staff. It is a stick of near infinite torchlights, with the ever so small caveat that it drains ink to use. Now, this backpack. This backpack upgrades with gold. Why have I not done that yet? Backpack is now bigger. Definitely like that. What's the next step? 4 diamonds. I got that. Four diamonds, 3 glass, 1 gold. We'll just keep the storage space scaling going. Diamond backpack. 2 new rows. Can it go higher? 63 to 72. Just with obsidian and a diamond. Easy. One final row. And it doesn't get any bigger. Now look at this room that I'll have to bring home loot with. Amazing. Also, I need a flask of black. Also for kind of a later thing. A later thing that should not be a later thing and should be possible already. But here we are, confused about why it's not happening. So what I'm grousing about with this is that there is supposed to be, in magical blocks, a furnace that runs on ink. And I don't know why it's not giving it to me yet. It's got to be the Stratine gem that I haven't found yet. You know what else, though? I'm gonna need another ender tank. Four of this, one of this, another tank, and a bucket. And we are gonna make it. You know what? Magenta's good. Magenta's a good color for this. Pink would be a good color too, but I will accept magenta. We are making this as a tank for liquid crystal. There's the tank. Now we need the ender bucket, which I'm missing the other pearl for. Code 222 magenta. It still looks pink even though it's magenta. And I'm going to have to get to some of these dike ruins. Maybe I can leverage this to get closer. Looks like it. I've been in the area before. It's just a matter of getting there. And not drowning. Let's use our universe spy hole also. I should get that bucket search off of there. It's supposed to be there. But I still don't see a thing. These universe spy holes are terrible at their one intended function. Seriously, the one thing they're supposed to do. Find Azure Dike challenge areas. They can't do, because your vision through walls only extends for a chunk or so. That's an interesting mineshaft down there, but that's not what we're after. Am I going to have to make additional bottomless bags just for granite and diorite? I know in my last playthrough I had to make one for copper. And then I went on a ridiculous copper spree because I had a mod that I've since removed where fluid tanks were made of copper. So having a positively stupid amount of copper was advantageous. Hello, even more water. Why is there so much water? Glad I have that respiration on. Means I can sneak down here and make my own air pockets. It almost doesn't matter how long it takes me. Hello, air. Why is the air flickering? I see 2 whole blocks of the dike ruin right now. It is almost in visual range. Seriously, in terms of actually finding these dike ruins, or whatever the book is supposed to call them, I've honestly forgotten. Universe spy holes are the worst. I am finding more iron, though, which is a good thing. And we have more water. I'm so sick of water already. A lot of light going on down here. Have I been down here? Hello, spider. Hello, creeper. No, that looks like lava light and not torchlight. This is also the wrong way for my intended goal. When you come across a cave of this size, you don't just ignore it. It might have valuables, like this gold. And bats that are inexplicably on fire. Because for some reason, nobody coated the bats to avoid lava. Bats just kind of believe that lava and flowing lava are just air blocks. which is a colossal oversight from a mob intelligence perspective. It kind of makes the very concept of mob intelligence an oxymoron. But that is neither here nor there. I still have somewhere I'm trying to go. There's the preservation stone. Let me through this so I can have my feet on the ground at least. It'll make this iron easier to break. And I need to get inside this. Which, as one might infer from my hesitance to just do something straightforward, preservation stone is unbreakable. So the only way I'm getting in is finding the intended entrance. And hoping the inside isn't nearly as flooded as the outside. Ooh, there you are. Surprised the heck out of me. There's so many mobs in the area that are just trapped down there on the lower levels. And hey, they found a way up. Yep, blow him up. Goodbye. Creeper number 2, I missed. I'm gonna ignore that actually. Because even though I can't see my Azure Dike bar, it still exists. More creepers. I got a creeper head. More preservation stone. And there's the entrance. We have managed to find the way in, awkward as it is. Eat this chicken. Get this out of my inventory. So what have we found here, really? Well, there's going to be a book entry. Before I fuss around with that, they are called ruins. Preservation ruins. I'll steal these. Grab the gold, a cobweb, and honestly you can keep the dye. It's common dye. Everything preservation is, as I said, unbreakable. And then we have this weird force field. If I remove my Azure Dike belt and rings, then this force field is quite solid, and attacking it does damage. Right-clicking on it does damage. It's just a nasty blockading field. If I put my rings and belt on, whoop, I just walk straight through it. Now we have access to all this free crystal, This large bud is garbage. A fanciful tough ring, which... I mean, I have the 2 rings I want. And there's only one other theoretical ring, which I know what it is, and I know I don't want it. So honestly, the fanciful tough ring can just be left behind. We have preservation glass, also invincible. There's a loot room. They have the 3 crystal lamps in there. Oh, lava pool, yes, but also magic blocks. So I'm going to steal that, and I also kind of want to scoop the lava, but I think my lava tank is full. Yeah, I can't scoop the lava. Well, what I can do is grab these so-called ethereal platforms. And then we have this, which is technically supposed to be a challenge, but I already understand it, so I know what to do. We have these 2 universe spy holes that are kind of showing us that there's redstone circuitry in the floor, including a unpowered patch over there, which would toggle this torch, and then deactivate these 2 lines, which lead this way, and we have sticky pistons holding the preservation glass shut. If you don't know what that means, then you don't know redstone circuitry. We now powered this, depowered the torch, depowered those lines of redstone, and the pistons are now depowered and forced to retract. Also, we can steal the spy holes, which is usually how I get all my universe spy holes. This is then a very peculiar room, honestly. I guess this is supposed to be a reward. It's really not much of one, though. It's a chiseled blocks flower pot. This one's a potted dead bush. I don't understand what's supposed to happen here. But what I usually do is just harvest whichever of these is a cluster. The onyx block is good too, because I can crush that. And then we have this block of black materia, which, as previously established, is garbage. If I break it, there's a preservation block detector underneath. What does that mean? What does it do? I have no idea. Does the universe spy hole tell me? Not in the slightest. So I don't know what that's about. Never have figured that out. But I can steal these, and then we drop down here into this convenient pool of liquid crystal, which is why I made the liquid crystal bucket and jar. We have onyx lamps, which I'm also going to steal, and the chest. The chest contains a decent amount of assorted goodies, including many types of pigment, this hibernating jade bulb, which is important for later, and a budding citrine. Yep, I was just given a budding crystal block. And now the way out is open. But before I leave, just to really rub in that I have looted absolutely everything of value from this place, I'm going to take my new liquid crystal tank bucket and steal all the liquid crystal. Leaving this particular dike ruin completely barren. There is nothing left here except a few crystal blocks of the mundane variety. And so the dike ruin I'm standing on, I'll edit to black and disable, just so when I see it again on the map, I won't mistake it for one I haven't looted yet. Oh yeah, and I was supposed to look at the book. So, book, resources, Jade Vines. It's a terribly fragile hibernating bulb. Also a kind of pain in the neck. Preservation Ruins. Old, sturdy things constructed by who knows what. There are challenges, and there are 3 types. This is the only type that I'm capable of breaking into now. I would like to find the other 2 and landmark them, but there's nothing I can do with them yet. So in terms of this particular type of ruin, we've done all we can. That's a nice arrow-shaped lava. Kinda cool. I don't see any other preservation ruins around. Which I guess is fine. The other 2 can be kind of hard to find because they are smaller. The real question is, how the heck am I going to get back to where I need to be from here? Because we are kind of far up pasture. And loot is no good to anybody if it can't be carried home. Unfortunately, I'm now so deep and dark in the nonsense and garbage that I don't know which way home is. Ow. How dare you? That was a weird hissing noise. Like, I know there's a spider around, but I heard a hiss of some kind that was definitely unlike any spider I've ever seen or heard. But that's all that seems to be down here, is spider and creepers. So I don't know what that noise was. Must have imagined it. And as nice as it is to be looting this new cave, I really need to remember the way out. Which I know involved water. Lots of water. This water specifically. Which I used fast swimming to sneak through. Oh hey, iron. And redstone. I did not want to stand up in here, but here we are. And I guess it's fine. It's just more slow fighting the current. And now we're somewhere more familiar. And now we kind of aren't. But this should be. I should know this area. It's just I'm half convinced that I have to swim through some more ridiculous tight tunneling. But I shouldn't. I know this area. I go up here somehow. Don't I? This over. Oh dear. Ow. Only 1 heart of damage. That's not feather falling. That is all of the azure dike that got eaten first. Right, now we're here. This also doesn't help. This area feels so familiar, and yet I remember nothing about it. This is my ravine. And this, I can work with this actually, because this is the drop shaft. So if I just ever so rudely bash my way in here, and then block up my mistakes, we're home. universe spy holes. Useful in theory, not in practice. Ethereal platforms, a block of onyx to smash. Though honestly, maybe I shouldn't because it's useful for something later. Pigments. This jade vine bulb, which I will have to deal with at some point. And onyx basalt lamp. After that, we have even more loot. We've gone over a stack of shimmerstone, which is a little bit problematic. Shimmerstone is also one of those things that you have tons and tons and tons of until you suddenly don't have any anymore. There is no demand for it until there is very suddenly an immense demand for it. We're still sitting on this new resource. Maybe I should pay Shimmerstone to find out what the heck it's talking about. Shooting stars only show up at night. Observe the shooting stars. I have shooting stars. So apparently what I need to do is destroy them. There are two ways to destroy shooting stars. One of them is anvil crushing. And that gives us star fragments. The other way to destroy them, which results in fewer star fragments, but also a larger number of more random resources, is by hand. They tend to bounce and dance a lot. But breaking them by hand results in a lot of resources, less star fragments, and more star dust. So now we have star fragments and star dust. Star dust makes those ethereal platforms that we just looted from the preservation room. It makes particle spawners, which, I mean, it's decorative. That's it. It's a decorative thing. And then we have the Gleaming Pin, the Radiance Pin, and Cotton Cloud Boots. The Gleaming Pin makes it so any enemy that hits you is afflicted with glowing, so you can know exactly where that hit came from. The Radiance pin automatically places lights as you move. These are temporary lights, unlike the Radiance staff. But it's useful for showing you exactly what you're doing in the moment. Kind of less useful for hunting mobs on the surface, because then you leave all these light trails around and reduce their spawning area. Doesn't mean it's a bad item. It's just a situational item. And then the best item, best in slot for shoes. We've seen 7 League increases move speed and step height, with leather boots, 4-leaf clover, phantom membrane, and purple pigment. Put on some shoes, you get faster, you have the step up bonus. I like Cotton Cloud. Needs more Stardust though. And Phantom Membrane and Brown. As you are sprinting, if you enter the air, you begin to glide. But if you stop sprinting in the air, you drop. This is less of an issue than you'd think, because for some reason, sprinting in the air with the Cotton Cloud boots doesn't consume food or stamina, as that usually does. So there's honestly no risk of falling out of the sky unless you bump into a wall up there somehow in the sky. This is another case of we don't ask these sorts of questions. But seriously, how do you fall out of the sky? With these Eyes of Ender, I'm going to expand my lava tank and the liquid crystal tank. That's how these work. You shift right click on them with an Ender Pearl or an Eye of Ender, and that expands their capacity. That's how that works. I just need to pull this unbreaking off of here somehow. It might be Emerald, Ichor Crystal. It might be one of the other recipes. It's not that. Alright, what are your other options? Damage visible, sort extract. Extract upgrade, extract defense, earth and gold? It's either earth and gold or sky and lapis. And I don't have any earth. Because I haven't blasted any earth yet. So is it sky and lapis? It is. There we go. Reinforced crystals. These must be the earth and gold variety. Wait, no, unbreaking. is going to be Sky and Lapis again. And this is an upgrade, so maybe that's Earth and Gold. Another level of Reinforced. And this doesn't work. I guess it's the Ender. Must be Ender, Crystal, and whatever then. I mean, it's the only option remaining. Oh yeah, and Depth Strider. But I don't really need that, do I? I think we need to get back into the Nether and hunt for more Stratine to get Stratine gems. And I'm just glad I have the giant backpack to be able to hold every tool I could conceivably need for this process. Seriously though, Stratine gems, why are you so difficult? Also, give me a bucket. $12, $13, $14, $15. And then we stick the lava in. And the lava will convert down to more obsidian. We'll probably need more water in there to continue the conversion. I'm kind of surprised this consumes burning blood, because it's just alloying fluids that are already fluids. What does it need heat to do that with? Isn't the heat provided by the existing lava? It must just be the case that the smeltery is coded to consume fuel as long as it's doing anything, regardless of whether it's logical for that task to be consuming fuel. Not a very smart way to code the thing, obviously. Two more buckets water. Now we're down to a bucket and change of lava. That can go back in the tank. And now we have nothing but obsidian to draw off into blocks. We also need more cobalt. I would not mind more cobalt. Also, one of these ender tanks for blazing blood would be fantastic, but somehow all of my ender pearls have disappeared. So I guess that's not happening anytime soon. also going to need some things. I guess not this brick. Let's fill that up. Then pause a second. The purpose of this will become clear soon. The clue is that we're going to the Nether. The more obvious clue is that it allows us to cast blaze rods from blazing blood. Because that, well, that blaze spawner that we've captured and turned into a blaze blood farm, we can no longer fight the blazes to get their blaze rods. So another way to get the blaze rods is necessary. But that is where we stand at the moment. Gotta get back into the Nether. I need a Stratine gem. I need more blaze rods. We might need some more. We do need some more ender pearls as well. I'm kind of wondering if I can offhand the crossbow. Well, that looks more than perfectly fine. Anyway, that was just a random thought. Before we get into the Nether, though, I need to take a minute. So I'll be back shortly. And we're back. Straight back into the Nether we go. Which, we haven't had golden armor before in the Nether. So piglins will be less of an issue. It's gonna still be the hoglins, though. These guys are multiplying. Also, you know what? Never mind. What I need is my netherrack bag and my deep slate bag, and neither of these two bags. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? You know, a fire resist potion sure would be nice. But I don't have any of those. I guess I don't actually need any, so we'll just deal. On we go. I'll just scoop all of this netherrack into my bag. Plenty of it now for bridge-related projects. But what we're looking for is more stratene. Which is going to involve basically more strip mining. As good a place as any to stop. And now I can do this completely without fear of inventory space. Because the bottomless bag will scoop pretty much all of the netherrack. Also, why is there no stratene? And why am I digging lag? I should be breaking the entire 3x3 in one stroke. But instead it's breaking the central block first, and the outer ring of blocks is taking a moment. And I don't really understand why. I also don't understand why it's refusing to give me straight team gems. When I am clearly using pretty much all the fortune it's possible to use. Pretty much. Not entirely, but close. Oh yeah. Kinda forgot I did that. Hello. Could we not melt my toes? Thanks. Nope. The only drawback to the bottomless bag, and I hesitate to even call this a drawback, is that it takes priority over your left hand. You'd think that if I have an inventory space and also a left hand, it would prioritize the left hand because everything else does and always has. But no, not in this specific case. In the specific case of the bottomless bag, it intercepts the item pickup before it even gets to my inventory, so my left hand doesn't have the chance to collect it. Come on. I know the Stratine gem is uncommon, but surely you could have given me one by now. Get in the bag so I can jump. I'm also chewing into my hammer's actual durability bar, which it has a ton of, so I'm not super concerned about it. It's just the small little detail that it's not slime steel anymore. Nope, this thing is all queen slime now, so that makes it a bit more expensive to repair. Fortunately, much like my Azure Dike bar, the Over Slime bar is a bunch of extra durability that I don't have to worry about, because it's not real. How did I not see this in the floor? Seriously though, where the hell are my Stratine gems? Oh, got one. What? Buddy, you better not get through my Azure Dike by the time I get up there and kill you. Alright, now you're cooked. So now we found one Stratine gem after over a stack of Stratine fragments. That should not have taken that long. I should have had at least 3 of those things. Like, within the first several blocks of mining. But no, today the Stratine blocks decided not to roll a single damned one until I had almost over 2 stacks of regular Stratine. I was right, though. It was the Stratine gem that the Cinderhearth was gated behind. So now that I have the one Stratine gem, which I was waiting on this entire time, now I should have the recipe to make more. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We have crashed out due to a server tick error. So I'm going to load it back up. And I damn well better have all of that Stratine still. I swear it was more stable before when I had more mods in it, including mods I didn't actually like. So I guess I'll put up the BRB card until Minecraft decides to fully load, but we are still here. Just not accomplishing much. That looks like we are loaded and loading. Looks like we made it through the portal with everything, despite having crashed somehow. I don't know what happened there. But now I can make the Jeopardant, which is the ring I didn't want. Increase damage as HP falls. I don't go for the risk-based play. Ashen Circlet is the circlet that I've been waiting for. This is permanent fire resistance, but not for lava specifically. For lava, if you fall in, it will give you a burst of actual full fire resistance, so you have a limited amount of time to be in the lava. It's temporary lava resistance, permanent resistance to regular fire. It's pretty good. And then here is the Cinder Hearth that I was waiting on. Yep, Stratine Gem. It's a blast furnace that consumes orange ink. It's a multi-block, also an annoying multi-block. Let's just get that out of the way. And you place upgrades on it, which supply other types of ink, in particular black ink, which makes it cheaper to run, which is why I made the jar of black ink. So this jar of black, this jar of orange. We're going to need more orange to make the Cinder Hearth itself run. No, it wasn't the Cinder Hearth I need the orange for. It was the Ashen Circlet I need the orange for. So let's get Fanciful Circlet, 4 polished basalt, and another quartz. And once we have that, Stratine, 4 neolith, 16 orange, and another bucket of liquid crystal. And Stratine itself can be formed into gems by the power of onyx powder and an emerald. So it's kind of pricey. Kind of a lot of pricey to combine these into gems, but the gems are good because they make Cinder Hearths and explosives, which honestly don't work all that well last time I tried them out. And the black hole chest, which is surprisingly good. You can also smash gems into fragments, but why would you do that? Ashen Circlet, Jeopardont. I want the Circlet, I don't care about Jeopardont. We don't know anything else. So we need the Circlet. We need the Stratine. 4 neolith. And the last of our orange pigment. I'm going to have to make more orange trees. I'm also hanging on to all of this magma block with intent to smash. Oh, no, I want this stuff first. It smashes into incandescent essence. What's that good for? I have no idea. I just wanted to bash some. Anyway. Circlet done. Everything goes in there, and I need liquid crystal. Which does work straight from the ender bucket. I was kind of concerned that it wouldn't. And now I'm wearing my ashen circlet. I have some limited lava resistance. But unlimited regular fire resistance, so blazes are no longer a threat at all. Well, there is their melee attack, of course. Boy, that is some jerky and choppy movement. Something is very wrong about that. Well, I guess let's not worry about that for now. And since the game's stability has now been called into question twice, maybe it's a good time to shut down for the day. So with that in mind, oh, yeah, that's terrible. He just kind of stutter walked. So with that in mind, do remember, tomorrow's my day off. And then Wednesday we'll return, maybe do some village work. Definitely get back to our Blazing Blood farm. Harvest some blaze rods with the power of this stuff. Maybe collect some more, and I'm not carrying around these tanks for show after all. And we'll see what other trouble we can get into from there.